Hi, my name is Kara Bass, and my game is Uncovered. What you can see here on my loading screens. So far, what I have done in my paper prototype is my tutorial levels and some of the mechanics for that. I've mostly been playing around with like buttons on my PS4 controller, and I need to get hold of a modern Xbox One controller so that I can really find out the mechanics for all consoles. So this is still very much a work in progress. So for my first loading screen, I have my protagonist Anya just swiping her sword, and the unnamed girl, who Anya is a part of her consciousness, just flipping the pages of a book. I also think I might want to work on the cutscenes because this is what I started out for the cutscene. So as I said in the first video when I was talking about the idea of my game, you're a piece of a girl's consciousness and you fall from her consciousness into a book. And so this is her falling from the beginning cutscene into meeting the first teammate, and as I put intro leading to tutorial mode, I put a lot of notes around just so that I taped them on so I could just kind of move them around if I decided to change my ideas. I just kind of hopped in right into what a battle screen would look like. It's very inspired by Kingdom Hearts with like the character totem and the health bar being in a circle around the character's face. It just seemed like it saved a lot more space than having like health bars, and it would give the player a lot more health if I just did hearts. And this is also sort of Kingdom Heartsy. I don't know if I wanted it to be like different colors if they have a longer bar. So in every level that I want for this game, I wanted there to be a general enemy and a boss, and so this is just an encounter with the original general enemy of Venera because it's a children's literature book, and so I thought of like a Secret Garden-esque sort of story. So I labeled everything here, the enemy name and quantity, the enemies pop up. The sword was given for the tutorial battle, so I may draw that cutscene because that was supposed to happen somewhere along like here. And I may choose to show what animating this battle looks like, what it's like to hit the enemies, if they like pulse or something, if they react to it, or if they just like flash red. Yeah, I put widescreen format for consoles because as I was looking for examples of paper prototype, it said like, oh, if it's an iPhone, like draw out an iPhone and like swipe like that. So I have some of my mechanics over here. So for Xbox, regular attack, press X, and then for special attack, press X and the shoulder buttons simultaneously. And then PS4 is kind of the same, but the problem with that is the X's are located on different parts of the controller, so I may have to change that right there. I don't really play on PC, so I may need to rehash what I want my attack to be. I was just kind of like setting my hands on my own keyboard, trying to see if it would work. So for regular attack, press F, and then for special attack, press F and Shift key. I may experiment with some other games because I am getting a PC shortly, so I may play a game just to see how they do their attack mechanics on PC. And then here, I want there to be obtaining post-battle items. I don't exactly know what I want them to do yet. I think I just want them to kind of either be sold or like maybe even crafted into something to be even more RPG-esque. Well, it is an RPG. And an explanation of enemy items whenever I decide what that will be. So yeah, I wanted to learn I want to teach the player just to kind of walk around the world, either with the joystick or just WASD or arrow keys if they want to change that in settings, because some people are like right-handed or like some things are or left-handed, sorry. And I changed this right here because as I was doing mechanics later, I realized that triangle for PS4 would probably be an easier to put item in inventory, a right trigger to open, and then just the shoulder buttons to scroll through because it just seemed comfortable to my hands. I just want to show a basic idea of what the shop will look like, and you would just kind of like scroll through here and then like press the right joystick to like scroll through these different items here, and then sell. I suppose that would bring up your inventory, and then you do one of the select that you would do here in order to sell your items. So here it's an introduction to the boss, though I did this a little too early because I remembered I wanted different kinds of levels in my game. And so, yeah, cutscene to initiate the tutorial boss battle and teammate mechanics, just like a little thing that I wanted to put in the cutscene. Again, very Kingdom Hearts-esque with the other thing, and I did put their names up there because I realized I never introduced him in the first cutscene. And so I wanted every single boss to have 3 of the regular enemies from whatever world they're in to have it. So Fallon has a slingshot. I don't know if I want to do a kind of, like, screen here that a lot of RPGs do, where it's like, item, attack, exit, hint, or something like that, in order to make it easier for the player instead of just learning to, like, press a random button, because I want it to be very navigable since my audience is fairly young. Yeah, so boss icon, boss health bar, it's bigger than the other health bars, and then I always put the enemy quantity here, just so that they know, like, oh, how much have I gotten through so far? And then I have these attacks, but again, since I have the triangle as the attack here before I changed it to inventory, I may rehash these mechanics. I want the teammate to just kind of, like, do their own thing. I may have it be where you can switch from each character so that they have their own abilities and that the player can control them, because I realized having a teammate that you can't really control may be frustrating because they may make a dumb move if I don't program the AI well. This is just a very basic idea of what I want a platformer level to look like. So obviously you would use, like, the WASD keys or the right joystick in order to, like, jump. So this would be like a little trampoline, and then kind of like a wall slide, jump here, kill that, like wall jump here. Yeah, so, like, monetary whatever's leading you to the place you need to go. I don't know if I want that box to break open to do, like, items or all that. I don't really know how to make it so that when you fall from a place like here, that you can't just get to the end, because I do want this to be like, oh, if you fall, you have to, like, start from the beginning, because, like, you die, but you also don't die because it's, like, a kid's game. So I don't really know what I want to do there. Maybe I'll put, like, a spike pit in order to make that clear. In this level, I do want there to be different health bars, so, like, each of these little enemies will have, like, 3 hearts over their head. I don't know what I'll have for the player, possibly also just 3 hearts over their head. And then at the end, you get the item you need. That's a very bad drawing of rope, and then just a portal to the end of the level, because I wanted the rope to be used for this level, because I also very much like the idea of strategy levels. So I just came up with a very simple strategy level. I did number it because I wanted to tell myself what order I want it to be in. So as I mentioned in my first video, I wanted the player to slowly discover the memories of the young girl, because you're just her consciousness, you're not really her memories. So the objective is to get the memory fragment at this piece of the level. And so first you would use sword to chop off the chunks of rock, pressing X, and then you would use his slingshot, so this would be a teammate mechanic in order to control him. Maybe I'll have something where you can switch between the players, especially since there will be several teammates in other worlds later on, where maybe a shoulder button or a trigger button has you switch between the different characters so you can use certain abilities. So since Fallon has a slingshot, he can scare the bird out of the tree so that you can use the rope to, like, swing it over and, like, craft the, like, pulley system. And so you push the planks under the tree. You use the rope to create the pulley system because you tie one to each of the other. You dig a hole to make room for the fallen branch, and then you stick up the branch and make a bigger slingshot, since his ability is slingshot because it just seemed like an easy weapon. You stand on the plank, and then it's just going to defy the laws of physics, honestly, because it's a kid game. Who needs physics? And he's going to use the rock to hit the box so that it falls on top of the, like, so it's going to hit the box will kind of, like, shoot into the air and then fall on the other side of the pulley system so that you shoot up and you walk over here and get the memory fragment, and then you can just kind of slide down the tree. So that's what I have so far. Again, I'm thinking of rehashing the mechanics. I don't know if I'll go into the second world because that seems like a bit much. The tutorial seems just like a very good basic understanding of what I want to do for the game. I may reorder things. I just might want to study into consoles more to see what's, like, comfortable and typical for games like this. Thank you. Bye-bye.